Hi guys, I'm Shmi and today I've driven out in the McLaren 675 LT to come and visit GVE London. Now GVE is a spectacular toy shop. Inside there are some amazing cars. So we're going to be meeting up with GVE's founder David Rye, having a quick look around, and then I'm going to be checking out the Lamborghini Aventador SV. I've not driven an SV, I'm going to be taking it for my first test drive. It's a car I'm very interested in just to see how it is and how it compares to the original Aventador. And I guess it's also kind of interesting having just driven here in the 675 as well, because technically they're quite similar track-focused cars. But like I said, inside here is amazing. Let's go find David and check it out. Hey David, how are you?
Hi Tim, how's it going?
Good, and it just got even better. This is amazing. What a view.
You like it then?
Oh yes, I like that. Can we go have a look?
Yep.
Show me what's going on in here then. What a lovely venue. I love how you got it set up.
Cheers. Yeah, it's one of the largest independent luxury car showrooms in the UK.
And almost certainly one of the best presented.
Thank you, mate. We've just literally moved in here, say about 5 months ago, and we've managed to fill it quite fast.
Yeah, and I can see some nice little toys that are showing right here.
This just came in a couple of weeks ago. It's for one of our clients. And it's a lovely thing. You've obviously had...
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to drive a couple of P1s.
Yep.
Nice spec with the grey and red.
Yeah, interesting colour combination, right?
Definitely. So you have some cars for sale and also some private customers.
So this is a car that we helped one of our customers buy a couple of weeks ago, and he's left it with us for the moment until he comes and collects it.
Okay.
And then we have some of my private collection. So this is my 675 LT, which you're definitely familiar with.
I am indeed.
Yep.
I've just driven here in mine.
Yep. Although probably not as nice a colour as yours, I have to admit.
Hey, 675 LTs look good in every colour, because the way you have all the contrast with the carbon against the bright sort of paint.
So mine's a better car than yours then.
Because there's more contrast.
Yeah.
GT3R.
Yeah.
I like the GT3R a lot. I did a test drive with one not too long ago. That was a lot of fun. Kind of a Bentley with a lot of soul, excitement.
Yeah, I think it's probably one for the future kind of classic market, isn't it?
Yeah, limited numbers, not very many of them.
Yeah.
And on that topic, I'm going to jump to this. V12 Vantage Roadster, original manual one, only 100 of those.
Yep.
That is awesome. I love that.
It is awesome. And this is quite a low mileage one, so again, it's one for the collectors.
Yeah, so these cars are for sale that you have here?
Everything behind these ropes and posts is for sale.
345, F12, 599s, a couple of other nice toys tucked in behind it.
We specialise in Ferraris mainly, and Lamborghinis, and McLaren, and
Supercars.
Porsche.
Supercars. Well, yeah, over on this side, I can see another car that's quite familiar to me, a sapphire blue GT4.
Right. So
again, rather like mine. You've got two GT4s. I can see another one loaded up at the back.
Yeah, the GT4s are doing really well for us at the moment. Everybody realises that they're good value for money.
And from my experience, it's a fantastic car to drive as well.
It's a proper driver's car, right? We've just had this come in, SLS Roadster, appreciating in value very fast, lovely colour.
Yeah, it's a funny one, that, because they weren't necessarily well, in the first year, they weren't sought after at all, and now production stopped. Everybody wants a Gullwing or a...
Well, when they came out, you couldn't sell them for love for money, and the dealers were offering discounts.
Big
and
discounts.
Now look at them.
Yeah. So
we've got a GT2 down here. Again, quite rare. A 997 Gen 1 GT3 that's just come into stock. Thing, and then his older brother 991 GT3. Looking pretty there. Quite unusual for us, an Alfa Romeo.
Alfa 4C in amongst the Bentleys and the Maserati.
Yeah.
And I should probably swing the camera around to look at this, which is the main reason we come down here to take a look today.
Right. Yeah.
The Lamborghini Aventador SV.
Yeah, this is my pride and joy, alongside my 675 LT.
600 coupes in the world. Did you have an earlier Aventador before?
I've not owned an Aventador before. I had a Speciale before. And so I decided to get into something that was going to give me the same kind of thrills as a Speciale.
Well, if everything I've heard is to be believed, there's quite a lot of thrill that comes from this, so I'm looking forward to taking it out pretty shortly. As well as all of this, I think you've also got servicing behind
Yeah,
here.
so it's still a work in progress, but we're getting very busy in our service centre, which specialises in Lambo, Ferrari, and Maserati.
This is probably the cleanest looking service centre I think I've ever seen in my life.
It's it's still a work in progress, but we've been fully booked since the day we opened.
Brilliant, well done.
And we've had some really, really nice bits and pieces coming in.
See, and you've got what looks like a line of cars ready to come in.
Ready to come in, and stuff just being worked on, over time. We've had engine rebuilds down here, gearbox rebuilds, so yeah, quite fun.
And I see you've also got another dedicated area here for the detailing.
Yeah, this is mainly for the cars that we've got in stock initially, just getting them to an amazing standard for any prospective buyers.
Oh, absolutely. If you're buying a nice supercar, you want it to look good from the word go, don't you?
Precisely. In some cases, even getting them looking better than they did when they came out of the factory.
Exactly how it should be.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, awesome. I think it's time now, though, that we take a look at this thing, this rather special car, the Aventador SV.
Yep, I'll go and get the keys and let's go out for a drive.
Wonderful. Gotta love the Lambo doors. So, this is my first time sat inside an SV. That screen is huge.
It's massive, isn't it?
That's awesome. And the way you close the doors with the door straps on the carbon panel is lovely too. Alcantara everywhere you look. I love all the yellow you've got in here.
Yes, that's off nicely.
Piping, it goes with the yellow on the display.
Yeah.
And the footwells are cool as well. Carbon fibre down here, everywhere. Awesome. Let's get underway.
Should we go?
Definitely.
Okay.
Well, it's not uncomfortable at all from the passenger seat. Driving in Strada, keeping it gentle.
Yeah, we've not really opened it up, to be fair.
No, we need to get to the right sort of roads for that. Well, I mean, really, you want to be taking a beast like this out on the track, where it's built for. Seats are definitely very firm, there's no question about that, but it's a cool place to be. It's a very cool place to be. We've just pulled up. Can we swap around?
Yeah, no problems.
Here we go then. My first time driving the SV. Thank you very much, firstly. I'm looking forward to this.
No problems.
I've driven a few Aventadors before. Normal coupe and the Roadster, but the SV is supposedly something else.
It's not supposedly, definitely
It is something else. There are only 600 of them. You've got 750 horsepower, 6.5 litre naturally aspirated V12.
Yeah.
The same gearbox as before, the semi-automated gearbox, but with a few updates, and I'm looking forward to experiencing that.
Faster gear changes.
I can certainly, I mean, already just cruising along in Strada mode. I should add at this point, I've brought us to the most bumpy road I could find to properly test the car in case it looks on the camera like we're bumping up and down.
Yeah.
But the gearbox is very smooth, much more smooth than I was, I guess, expecting from it. And in fact, given the road, for me to compare this with other cars I've brought here before, it's not actually that bad.
Yeah.
This is quite fine. No question, it's a big car. It feels like a very, very big car, but it's the same size as the earlier Aventador.
Yeah, I think for me, the earlier Aventador, the biggest problem was the gearbox.
Yes.
And if I just wanted to drive it normally into London or something like that,
it was a little bit too clunky.
Yeah.
This is hopefully a little bit smoother.
This is much smoother.
But it's the track focus version, so it's 50 horsepower down. We've got some pretty good buckets. Everything's kind of stripped out.
Yeah, it's the downforce as well is 150% more than the normal Aventador.
Big numbers.
Yeah.
So it's a couple of automatic shifts. Then it see that second to third, not bad at all. But I'm going to put it in sport mode, where it will get a little bit louder. The valves are open, we have a little bit more noise. We like that. And I might also just cheekily press manual.
Yep.
Because I want to be doing this with the paddles.
Yeah.
That is one of the best noises.
That is the best noise ever.
I mean, even just gently there,
Yeah.
slowly accelerating, you have that epic soundtrack behind you.
It's
which is
quite
one of the best
violent,
things.
isn't it?
Yeah. And then very quick shift. It feels faster than it was before too. But and it revs up to 8,500 if we got there as well. But yeah, we'll be a little bit gentle with your special toy. It's quite new.
Thank you, but it's only got a couple of hundred miles
Yeah.
on it.
But I mean, it feels good. It feels really good. It's not uncomfortable to drive. I feel very close to the roof though. It's quite small, but always the way with Lamborghinis. They're built for small people, I feel. But visibility backwards is totally fine, which I was slightly concerned about with the engine covers, but they're positioned perfectly so that you see through them. In fact,
it's surprising how much you can actually see through the back. It's a little bit different to your LT when the rear spoiler goes up. You can't see
then
anything,
you're
right?
completely visibility gone.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the fixed wing, which is up above the visibility, so you can see it if you look down and sort of try and find it, but it's way up there, sitting looking strong, looking how the SV should look. I think the car is completely an SV, Super Veloce.
Yeah.
Like big, angry, in your face. There's a big bump here, so it's
Yeah, it's got the newly designed front splitter, rear diffuser.
yeah,
All makes the car look a little bit more aggressive.
angry. 600 of them makes them pretty rare. There can't be, well, I guess, less than 10% of that probably to the UK at all.
America's the biggest market,
Yeah,
and then comes the UK, I think.
that was nice. Oh, what a car. Well, now I've brought us to a junction with a massive blind spot. Are we clear?
Yeah, we're cool.
Off we go. Now we get to listen to it a bit more. It's just an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah.
Just awesome. Now I have to test it in Corsa. This is probably going to be a little bit rough for us. Corsa basically is what you should use on the track.
Yep.
I don't think it makes any difference to the valves. The valves are more open, it's auto already. I feel like it would be quite violent if you're up at the red light.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Corsa's sort of screaming at me to rev the nuts off it, but we're not really ready for that yet. So I'll avoid it for now. But yeah, on a road like this, we definitely want it notched back down again. But that's where if you're on the track. Do you think you'd ever take it on the track?
Only time will tell. But for the moment, I want to keep it off any tracks,
Yeah, fair enough.
just on the roads.
They have to. But these cars these days, you know, your Speciales, Aventador SVs,
Yeah.
75 LTs, they're built with so much variance in their character. You can use them as daily cars, but you can also dial them up with settings and the like. Variable suspension, steering.
I started using my Speciale that I used to have as an everyday car, and after a while I just realised what's the point? The value of it was just
okay,
decreasing.
but from a value point of view, that makes sense. But from a drivability point of view, they're completely
Yeah, you can do it.
fine.
You can do
You know,
it.
when you put it in race mode, it becomes a very different animal. But when you're just driving it in, if you ever drove the Speciale in wet, actually, does the Speciale even have a wet? I don't even know. Does it just start with sport?
Oh, it does have a wet. Yeah,
It does have a wet.
yeah,
If you're just driving it in wet, it's perfectly fine all the time.
yeah.
My word, very nice on the corners. The steering ratio is very tight, very pointy. Kind of how you like it. You can be very, very precise. Yeah, this is
I found it to be a lot more precise than the normal Aventador.
I mean, I guess if you like your sports cars and you like it very exciting, it's the way to do it. It's just.
They say this is the best Lamborghini ever made.
Probably to drive. Probably to drive.
Yeah.
You know, you could argue that Miura SV is probably a little bit more beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Lots of people love the sort of dramatic looks of the Countach. You've got all the sort of different characters, and then for daily drivability, the Hurricane, with sort of all the learnings from Audi, I suppose.
Yeah.
Boy, people might have noticed on the camera, I'm basically just driving in a loop, but it's a loop I like because I can open up the car a little bit and I know it well, and it's a good test for cars because you have some smooth bits, you have some bumpy bits. It's a nice way to just get to know it a bit. Soundtrack though, absolutely awesome. Really nice car to drive.
How does it compare to your 675?
How does it compare to the 675? It feels less road usable.
Yeah.
From the point of view that the 675 is a little bit smaller, a little bit more wrapped around you.
Yeah.
From a sort of more advanced point of view, I guess we're also in a carbon tub, so it feels very rigid, controlled, where it should be. I mean, that would be more detectable at speed, of course. There's more drama to it from the V12 that does that. And of course, that's sort of a different world to the 675. Although the cracks from the 675 are awesome, but then the overrun burbles from a V12 are nuts. There's no other way to put it.
If you had the choice, would you buy one?
Tough, isn't it? I've never owned a Lamborghini. Never owned a Lamborghini.
Any reason why?
Yet.
Just not being given the opportunity to.
No, I think it's that I don't know if it fits me, you know. I like using them all the time, and driving in here, I mean, I don't think anybody could argue that this is less usable than a 675
Yeah,
LT. Nobody, because it's much harder to see in position, and you've got no idea where the front is. You can't see the arches or the buttresses or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Parking in London is a tough job.
I mean, I'm more impressed with the view back than I was perhaps expecting. I thought it might be sort of completely closed down. No, I think I'll move to the Lamborghini when the time is right. I'd like to drive one of these on edge. You know, maybe a factory car on a track day somewhere would be an interesting experience. But I like it. You know, I like it more than I thought I would, because they've taken the Aventador and they've refined it. They've just made it a little edge better than it needed, and it has that sort of exclusivity and special value that comes from being a limited edition model. So yeah, you have a very nice car. Thank you very much for letting me drive it.
No props.
Here we are back at GVE. Now that we've returned, I just want to show you a little bit more of the interior. So we'll jump back into the car, into the driver's side, and just take a little look around at what's going on here. I'll pull the door down. I love these carbon panels on the doors and the way you pull that down. Then we'll just start the ignition. So no foot on the pedal, of course, to do so. And then you've got that lovely, lovely display. It's going to chime away at me if I don't put my seatbelt on, I think. Oh no, it has stopped, but I'll do it anyway. Keep the car happy. You've got the triple displays. So in the centre you've got this huge, huge, huge screen that you can see. We're in Strada mode. If I press over, we go to Sport. Press once more, we go to Corsa. Well, it just changes slightly, but I love that rev counter. And then you've got the two sort of side displays flanking it that just have a little bit of information, your track info, temperature and fuel. Yeah, sorry, half thinking of there, and the oil pressure and stuff on the right, and the range. That's actually confusing. Why do you have half and half? Anyway, that's a nice sort of looking display. I love the little centre stripe at the top of the Alcantara steering wheel. Obviously, this is all very reminiscent from previous Aventador. You've got the sort of flap cover over the start-stop button, which is just very nice. Carbon fibre centrepiece, and this sort of cool design around here. Oh, I like the SV embroidery on the side of the seat. Now, there's no storage in here for anything. There's no glove box, there's no door pockets, obviously, because the doors open up. There's no armrest. The only storage is a little pouch behind me that I can barely even point the camera at around there. So you can't really put very much stuff in here. If I just flick with the screen a little bit, we can go through some of the modes on the left display with this button here. Just playing as I go. Loudspeaker and radio settings. Paddles are cool with this sort of hollowed out design. Yeah, it's pretty nice in here. I think I'm going to do one cheeky little start, just because. Nice. It is awesome. And you've got the 1 of 600 badge up there. I'll show you that from the outside. It's actually, just turn that off for the moment. Oh, left it in neutral. Handbrake's on, so we're all good. So, to open the bonnet, we should pull that lever down there. Hop out. Come round and close the door back down. You have this little badge here, Aventador SV, 1 of 600. Bonnet. Got the largest space in the world, room for a jacket. I've got a bag down at the bottom, it goes down to the floor, so you can fit a luggage bag in there without too much stress. But doesn't it just look insane? Such a cool car. It's a super veloce. It's a Lamborghini Aventador SV LP750-4 SV. And the wheel design is cool too. The wheel design's really cool. I noticed also that the wing has a couple of different positions you can have it in: alto, medio, basso. Different configurations for downforce versus top speed, drag, all of that. Around here, it's just crazy versus the normal Aventador. The exhaust is much more open with those 4 tips in the center. And you have this painted panel through the center as well, with these sort of struts coming up towards the wings, which are changed versus the normal Aventador. Slightly larger vents on the rear deck, and more carbon goodies everywhere. And the front's changed too, with the center piece, just a different sort of shape. The previous car had a vent like that and didn't have this. It's all different. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, driving the Aventador SV and having a look around the lovely, lovely showroom here at GVE. So I have to extend a very, very big thanks to David for allowing me this opportunity to get behind the wheel for the first time of the Aventador SV. I certainly hope at some point I get to hammer one in anger, but with a brand new car, obviously we're not gonna, it's his personal car, we're not gonna completely knock it to bits. I wanna look after it, make sure all is well and all is happy on my little test drive. So yeah, enjoyed that a lot. Been not a bad week for test driving new cars. Also uploaded a video with the Pagani Zonda and the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, so not much to complain about. The Aventador SV now, another one to have experienced. Just hope there's more opportunities again in the future. So big thanks to GVE. Their links are right down below where you can go follow, check them out, give them a like, see what else is coming up, and what else is going on here. And there are often some pretty nice cars around as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch up with you again very soon. Cheers. Audi have released the upgraded version of the RS6, the RS6 Performance, which is what this. Of course, we've got the Brabus 500 G500 4x4, where they